that one. Okay. This is episode 19 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and this time we're watching one of my games.
Yes.
So expect a loss.
Oh, you're too hard on yourself, Sam.
I mean, the people watching YouTube already getting a preview of the list I'm flying.
Yeah, okay. So we will review Sam's game. We'll probably touch quickly on points and our takes. We will not go in depth. Just a couple of bits that we're excited about in our faction or we think have fairly been up or down. Right, let's crack on, Sam.
Yeah, so this game is from my round 2 in the Balance of the Force tournament that Tin Squadron is running. Admittedly, I don't think my list looks that crazy, but the rules for Balance of the Force is I5s and I6s are in one group, I1s and 2s are in another group, and if you bring one of the I5s and 6s, you have to bring an I1 or 2 to balance it out, and 3s and 4s kind of float around the middle. But that's basically the gist of the rules, and that's why this list exists. But what my list is I decided that I wanted to bring infiltrators. So I've got Darth Maul with Hate. Hey, he's cheaper now. Spoiler alert for the points. Count Dooku with Sense, Zam Crew, much more expensive now, and the Scimitar title. And DGS-047 with Repulsor Lift Stabilizers, Diamond Boron Missiles, and Hondo Crew. So I'm looking to do some shenanigans and have some fun.
Well, that's what we always try and do at the Tin Squadron games, isn't it? A bit of fun.
Yeah, and so what I run into is token stacking rebels.
Oh no! Oh, and it's the pretty much as full-on token stacking as you can get.
Yeah, so we've got Hera with Thread Tracers, Kyle Katarn in the Hawk with Gian Urso and Moldy Crow, Benthic 2 Tubes in the U-Wing with Leia and Perceptive Copilot, and Garv Andreas in the X-Wing with S-Foils.
Well, I mean, on the plus side, that's not a legal list anymore.
Yeah, true. I think he actually messaged me because the points dropped whilst this game was being played. And afterwards we were like, yeah, both our lists are illegal. I'm zooming in, having a look. Yeah, this is just token shenanigans. There are going to be a lot of tokens on the board, and I have difficulty punching through. We get to obstacle displacement, and it seems that neither of us want obstacles to have anything to do with anything in this game.
Oh, that looks familiar.
As they're all on my half of the board in a rectangle, literally, like in my bottom corners and in the middle. There's a rectangle. There's a huge gap on my opponent half of the board, and I am basically gunning for that because I have a plan. You see, because infiltrators are quite fast for large spaceships. They're very, very fast, and Dooku especially because he can decloak, so he effectively gets like a mini boost and then can go fast. So I was thinking, right, get the obstacles on my side of the board, and I'm just going to rush him before he can get his tokens stacking on the go.
Yep.
Because the Rebel token stacking does need a little bit of time to get started. And so I'm just planning on rushing in with double. Like the idea is, I've got double mods and I've got double taps on my infiltrators, and DGS is there, and he also has a gun.
Yeah, that's fair. Get in before Kyle can build up his stuff. Get in before they can start chucking it to Hera, and yeah.
So I believe I had the bid, and I gave my opponent first player because I wanted Dooku to essentially be an ace behind Kyle.
Okay.
And that's the only crossover that really mattered. But yeah, so deploying, and I'm just deploying in the corner with my infantry a little bit spread out, and my opponent is deploying in the opposite corner, effectively setting up to turn in towards me. It looks like he's got a couple of his ships facing along his board edge and a couple of his ships facing down towards me. So it's a pretty good thing because he can react to what I do. And I put in a couple of moves, and then I look at my opponent's list and actually think, no, it's rush time. And away we go. So I don't want to get bogged down into the details, but I'm literally rushing towards my opponent. My first actions, And these are important actions. So once I've done everything, I'll quickly explain them because this is me setting up for my initial engage.
Yeah.
As everyone's focusing, and I'm moving, and I'm all target locking a rock, even DGS. And my reason for this is that I have Hondo, which means DGS can coordinate and jam two ships friendly to each other. And so what I want is for my coordinate, whoever I think is going to need the double mods, and I believe I usually go for Dooku with this because Maul's double mods is that he gets to shoot twice. I want to jam one of the infiltrators and have no consequence. So I'll essentially jam off one of these target locks, and then the infiltrator that gets jammed isn't stuck with a jam token that round.
Nice.
And DGS just locks the thing, just in case. You never know. Sometimes it might be relevant. If I wanted to shoot that gas cloud, I'd have 3 rerolls.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so my opponent sort of starts moving towards me, and we are going to be shooting on turn 2 because the infiltrators are fast. But the idea is I'm trying to get there before he has too much time to set up his tokens. But what I hadn't anticipated is that none of this matters because Kyle's already stacked thanks to Benthic 2-Tube's ability.
Yeah.
When
you just need
Benthic's
the one
ability
turn, don't you?
is he can, whenever he takes a focus action, he can transfer a focus token to a friend. So Kyle Katarn is fully stacked from turn 1. Yeah. So this is a little futile, but this is my plan, and I think I make one mistake shortly that really ruins it. So I'm decloaking Dooku, no jam shenanigans, and I'm just going for the fight. I believe I'm Hondoing and I've just got range, so I will believe I jam Maul and I give Dooku a focus. So then when Dooku moves forward, he can target lock the nearest person. And you'll see that Kyle Katarn has 4 focus tokens on turn 2, thanks to Benthic and Perceptive Copilot.
Yeah, interesting. Normally, you'd expect Hera to be taking a few of those now that Kyle's a bit stacked, but
Well, the thing is, Benthic is only range 2, so he can't actually get it over to Hera.
no, that's what I mean. I'm a little surprised that Hera is so far away.
And it's also completely irrelevant because when Kyle passes over one of those focus tokens, thanks to Jyn Erso, it can become an evade or a focus wherever it goes.
Yeah.
So everyone but Garvin is going to rock up with 1 or 2 tokens here, but we going ham. I'm target locking. I look at Kyle and I think, yeah, there's no way that anything's getting through, so I go for Benthic in the hope that Hera has gone slow and won't be in range. I was hoping that the fast action was going to be unanticipated, and it sort of is, but Hera does a 1 hard and isn't in range, and so does have to evade stress to get in range of everyone so he can receive tokens and pass them around. So if you don't know what the Rebel token stacking is, basically whoever I shoot has at this point 2 focus tokens and an evade, or an evade and a focus, because Hera can pass one of her tokens over, and the focus can become a focus or an evade, and the evade can be an evade. So whoever I shoot at the minute has at least 1 focus and at least 1 evade.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rebel token stacking. But I've sort of got what I wanted. I'm engaging at long range, and not everything of the enemy is shooting. Not all of what my guys are shooting either. But that's okay because
your 2 big hitters are.
Yeah, my 2 big hitters are shooting. So Maul has a disaster and then turns it into less of a disaster, and Benthic takes. I believe Benthic opts to take. I can't remember what he does actually. I can't remember if he spends the token not to dodge this, but he's debating not spending the token so that if I wanted to double tap, I'd have to go and shoot Kyle, who's over there at range 3 with a million focus tokens. But he does evade it.
I say that's
so
not
I shoot him
necessarily
again.
a bad choice. Take the 1 damage.
Yeah, so he does evade. I shoot him again, roll a single hit, and he dodges it. And then my opponent starts piling into Maul and completely ignoring Dooku, which I think is the correct choice.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and my green dice aren't helping me, but infiltrators. So Dooku has a shot. spend the lock, and he doesn't have a good showing of it. He misses, and that kind of scuppers my plans a little bit, but sometimes that happens. Keep fighting into Maul. That is I can't remember what that is. I think it's like a loose. It is a loose stabilizer. That's what it is. So Maul is either going straight to take no damage, or he's not, or he's taking some more damage. But at this point, I'm fine with a little bit of a straight maneuver because I know that the Rebel player has Leia, and I actually, to be fair to myself, I forgot that Kyle has a stop, but I figured that the U-wing was stopping, and that if Maul did a one straight, I'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My mistake is going to come very shortly, and I'm going to go. There's a huge. This is probably the maybe not game changing, but it really set the tone for the rest of the game. Mistake. As I'm looking at moves, what I end up doing is I send Dooku into the fray to try and get some blocks. Again, I've forgotten that Kyle has a stop, which is it turns out to be a little foolish, but it's fine. I figure Hera's doing like a 2-hard or a 2-bank. Garvin's probably doing a 2-bank, and I reckon a 3-bank from Dooku might either get some blocks or just get in the way.
Yeah.
So we're in the system phase, Zamity Zam, and here's my mistake. I do a 2-hard with DGS, and I reach for a target lock, and I'm just barely out of range.
Oh, yeah, that's very close, isn't it?
So I thought about doing the 3-hard. I just didn't know if I would. I didn't know if I would bump Dooku or not. But now that I've got to this point in time, I was like, I should have done the 3. Whether I was bumping or not, I'm pretty sure that the Benthic is doing a stop, which means DGS isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And had I known I was out of range 3, I've also haven't hondoed, which means I don't have a double modded. Okay, well I do have a double mod. I don't have a free double modded like shot from one of the infiltrators this round, and I think this is where it goes downhill because DGS does nothing this turn, and DGS does have a missile which would have been quite useful to be firing. So DGS there locks a gas cloud, and then Benthic stops, focuses, passes a focus over to Kyle, then double checks and actually passes it over to Hera instead. Kyle stops, takes a focus. Dooku goes yeah, and target locks Kyle. So if I can stop the focus train, I think I'm happy. Garvin's going for Maul. Maul does a one straight target at Benthic because I'm pretty certain Maul's dying. Hera doesn't get blocked, and a little bit annoying. So gets to take another token. Picks an evade, and so everyone's tokened up except for Garvin, but he doesn't need it. So Hera shoots into Maul with a thread tracer, gives everyone a target lock onto Maul. Maul gets the range 1 shot into Benthic Choo-Choo, puts 4 damage in, it deals 2. And then Garvin is just barely range 2 of Maul, spends the lock for hit crit. I take hit crit, weapons failure. It's not going to matter. If you haven't guessed, Maul is dying this turn.
I mean, yeah.
Hit crit again, and that's Maul gone. And then Dooku, I go for Kyle. And I get, normally that's amazing. And you know what? Normally, when your opponent completely blanks out,
well,
you're like, sweet. But Hera's like, no, I'm going to pass you my focus, which is secretly an evade thanks to Jyn Erso. And takes it's just hit crit, so shield and crit, and I believe the crit is wounded pilot, which does help. I spend a force to do an action, and I target lock. No, I jam Benthic, trying to just screw the assault over, and I take 1 damage. That activates Zam, which gets me a lock onto Benthic, and then the gunship does nothing, and that was basically the turning point. Now, I'm not trying to say that if the gunship was closer, it would have made a difference. I'm pretty sure Maul still dies, but I do think that firing the Diamond Boron this turn would have made a difference.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, I think.
But that's that. Like, the gunship basically doesn't fire the entire game, which is
Not
probably what caught like my downfall, because it was just slightly too far away, and died a little too quickly. But like I expected Maul to die, but it's just like I don't have the damage output to punch through all the tokens. Like Kyle's sitting here still on 2 tokens.
Yeah. It is.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just the way the list works, really, isn't it? And it's.
So I'll let this run through at slightly slower speed so people can actually watch it. I am going to lose this game quite dramatically. I make one good move and I make one terrible move that I'd forgotten about later on. Using Hondo, because Hondo has the other effect of I can do it to my opponent's ships as well, and against token stacking it can be useful, except when you forget that your opponent isn't stressed and you just give them extra tokens.
Oh. Yeah, okay. That's not good.
So we are here. Basically, I dial in a 5k with Dooku, a 5 straight with the gunship, because I'm like, okay, the entire rebel list is going to go for the gunship. If I go as fast as I can, I bet I only get shot by 1 or 2 people, and I'll be correct. Because I bump into I use sense on Garvin to just have it try and gauge where he's going to go. He's doing a 3 straight, which will bump into my gunship. Critical mistake here is I don't open the stabilizers here, and in 1 turn I also don't open the stabilizers when I really needed to.
Yeah, the next turn you should definitely be opening.
Yeah, so Kyle, like Benthic moves, and I've dodged a Benthic shot. Kyle turns and takes a focus, which turns into an evade. Garvin bumps, and so does Hera.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kyle passes a focus over to Hera, which becomes an evade. So Hera's untouchable, pretty much. Hera puts some dice into the gunship, and I blank out. So I believe that's thread tracers, so all the rebels have a lock onto my gunship.
To be fair, you're only taking 1 shot from the gunship, right? From Kyle.
Yeah, from Kyle. But next turn is going to be painful, and I block it. And I have a choice. I can go for Kyle, I can go for Hera, and I just say, screw it. I go for Kyle because if I randomly kill you, then great. I roll blank focus crit, and I decide not to spend the force because I just didn't believe that there would be any way the 2 go through because of the focus and the evade, and Hera can pass an evade over.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I throw some dice into Hera with the gunship, and it does nothing. So I should have opened my stabilizers last turn. This turn, I should definitely open my stabilizers.
Yeah, surely this turn you open your stabilizers and swing.
You will notice that I do not. But essentially, the game ends. I get Benthic down to 1 hull, and I kill with Dooku.
You kill who? Sorry.
And it's a pretty like I think I've like my mistakes at the beginning of what cost me the game. Like if the gunship is in the fight a little bit earlier, maybe I've dealt a little bit more damage because now my opponent is back up to like full token levels, and without Maul, I don't have the ability to take away tokens before the gunship shoots.
Yeah,
like as much because Dooku just isn't quite able to do it. So yeah, the gunship does a 4 straight. Oh, he does flip his stabilizers. I wonder. I think I should have flipped it last one. I thought I didn't flip the stabilizers, but like here, I flipped my stabilizers and I've calculated. But like the gunship's not going to shoot. Benthic does a rotate. Kyle turns around. I believe there's a bunch of Talon rolls and K turns. Wounded Pilot does nothing. Maul just does moves a little bit further forward and takes a focus, I believe. Oh no, I jam Hera. This is what I do. I jam Hera because I'm like, let's try and stop. I've got target lock. I've got the force. Let's try and stop some tokens. But I forget that Hera has a target lock from the thread tracers from before, so my jam kind of goes to waste.
I mean, you've got rid of a target.
So yeah, that was fun. I guess the mistake here is think like the action seems great. I think that the action to jam Hera was a good idea. The problem was I forgot that Hera already had something on him.
Yeah.
And it's these sorts of things that are stupid because like I could like the jam does effectively nothing. Like I'm trying to prevent the token stacking, and I jammed off a target lock that almost doesn't matter. When I could have focused. I could have jammed Ben. Oh, jamming Benthic wouldn't have helped, but for the exact same reason. But I could have focused. I could have moved my lock over to Kyle because I got the lock on Benthic at the minute.
Yeah.
Because in a second, I'm going to be like, well, I may as well shoot Kyle because if Kyle dies, the tokens go away. And it's basically that. But Hera does a sloop, so it doesn't matter anyway. She wasn't getting any tokens, and the shooting starts. Are you there, Sean?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just enjoying your commentary.
Because I can't hear you.
Hang on. Do. Bear with me, people watching it.
Right,
Really?
I actually can't hear you. Hold on, what's happened?
I'm very
I was
much
able to
talking.
hear you, and now I cannot.
And I'm very much recording, so it's coming through. Yeah, Discord is picking me up.
Right, my headset literally turned off randomly, and I have no idea why.
Good, because I said like a million things to you, and you just blanked me, and I just thought you were enjoying
I could have sworn I didn't hear my headset turn off in the slightest.
I was like, I've just been sat there in the chat going, well, it's picking me up on the recording. Discord's picking me up.
Let me find my little pluggy in that will charge up my headset. I don't know when it turned off.
But thank you for reminding me. I need to order a new headset.
Okay, plugged in. Where were we?
You were dying.
Yeah, I'm dying. Like,
brutally honest.
Like, I've made some decent plays, but I don't know. Like, at this point, it's over. There's 4 ships versus 2, and I don't have. If Dooku were like Sunfac, maybe.
Yeah.
Very, very shaky, maybe. Like, there's 3 small base ships, and Sunfac's good at preying on them. But yeah, so I go for Kyle, spend a force, hit crit. He completely blanks out, and he goes down. But yeah, we can let this game run. Do you want to talk about points? I think I've basically covered all the things that matter in this game. Many thanks to my opponent. He was a really awesome guy to play, I must admit. He said he really enjoyed the last balance of the Force. And I said that hopefully we'll plan on doing some more.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do some more, or certainly some more tournaments.
But enough. Like, yeah, my list. I'm not sure how much my list will change with the new points. Spoiler alert: new points. But I know it's illegal. I just don't know whether I want to continue with double infiltrator or not.
That's fair. You can fly 4 now.
Not in balance, I can't.
But, okay, fine, not in the balance, but
you're right. I can fly 4 because the Dark Courier's gone down a point to 50 points. I mean, I could fly 3 Dark Couriers in 066 and I'd have a 1-point talent.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, let's have a quick chat about points. So, AMG promised sweeping changes, and I'm not entirely sure they delivered on that.
I will say, with a caveat, I'm waiting until they reveal the rules changes before I judge on that, because sweeping change. They said they wanted sweeping changes to the game, and points doesn't necessarily mean that.
No, that is true. For the most part, generics have remained untouched, with the odd one going up slightly in points.
And I have the odd one going down. In fact, I have a couple going down.
I say for the most part, but a lot of the named pilots have come down.
Yes.
Not a lot of them, not hugely, but 1-2 points here, there. It soon adds up. So that's the sort of broad look. What's caught your eye, Sam?
So, I mean, what immediately caught my eye as a Separatists player is, I have heard rumor from people who tell me, because I actually haven't looked, that most configs across the game, obviously Delta B accepting, basically went to 0 points. Like all the configs that are sort of like the the wings on X-wings, right?
Yeah, most non-Jedi, most non-Republic configs have gone 0 points. Vector thrusters on the A-wings, most of the S-foils, all of the Separatist ones. But then with that, a lot of the, for instance, Separatists, the droids have gone up slightly.
Yeah.
So the points remain the same.
Yeah, I just think, to me, it's an interesting thing. Like, before, I did consider taking strutless droids because that saved like 7 points.
Yeah.
Now there's no point because I'm paying for the strut, and so I'm damn well taking it.
Yeah.
So I do think that's interesting. Like inside Separatists, like in the gunships. So all the I1s and the I2 gunships, they all effectively stayed the same points because all the gunships went up by 3 and the foils, the stabilizers went down by 3. But the I3 ones, the Onderon Oppressors and DGS 246, they all collectively went down. So I think we might be seeing some more of the named gunships, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
Which does follow in with the theme of named pilots getting cheaper. Like, heck, the I3 gunship, DGS like 286 or 246, he came down by like 6 points in total.
Yeah. Things
Still
that
won't play him.
things that I've popped out. 2 things that caught my eye. The collective build for Dash has come down loads. If you take it, I mean, the title itself came down by 8 points. Dash has come down, but they've removed his gunner slot. So despite Biston coming down, you can't double tap anymore, which I don't think completely nerfs him. Because he's still 4 dice at range 3. Put trick shot on.
Isn't he just still kind of fine?
He's good. But he's no longer going to be 2/3 of your list. So there'll be some interesting bits on there. And also, feedback ping. The new talent that I believe is coming in the FO box. That has the restrictions of it needs to be tie and reload, and it basically allows you to, hang on, let me find the exact text so I can do it properly. Feedback ping, here we go. After an enemy ship executes a maneuver, if it is at range 0 to 1 of a friendly device, you may acquire a lock on that ship, ignoring range restrictions. It's not limited. It's 1 point.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So that inside FO, at least, you're going to see more sensor buoys.
Yeah, but it's also like any Imperial bomber that's got a reload and is tie. You know, for 1 point, surely you whack that on there for the when you're dropping bombs, people move, free lock.
I feel like, let's see. It's interesting because, like, I'm looking at like the TIE Bomber, for example. Like, maybe you'll see it on some of the big name guys, but like the TIE Bomber that you usually see, the Scimitar Squadron pilot, doesn't have a talent slot.
The Punishers.
Yeah, the Punishers.
I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just I expected it slightly.
The Punishers
more
don't have talent
expensive.
slots.
Oh, do they not? Oh, well,
No.
there we go. Other things that caught my eye. Midnight in the FO came down 7 points.
Yeah, expect to see him some more. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, you never saw him before, right? It's like he shouldn't have been as expensive as he was.
I was a little surprised to see Malorus in the shuttle come down a point.
I mean, I guess, but I think that goes along with well, like there's a lot more stuff to start thinking about.
Yeah. And to round out FO, I was mightily surprised to see that the enhanced jamming suite was 0 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I kind of guess they've pointed.
yeah, they've
the
pointed the
Whisper.
Whisper around. Like it's like the struts and the S4s. They've pointed the Whisper around having it.
But having
I think is weird.
having a any ship at 44 points being able to link almost any action into a jam is, I think, pretty reasonable.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see because it means that the Whisper functionally has no tech slot.
Yeah, that is the good side of it, is the fact it's config.
And I guess actually no, you can choose to not have it because you can choose to say, well, actually, I want the tech slot.
Oh yeah,
And then you're paying the points to use the tech slot. But it's one of those like weird things.
So a quick roundup of the obvious ones. Zam went up, as we can expect.
Yeah.
Zam crew went up a lot, and Jabba went up a lot.
Dooku went up.
Which,
crew.
Okay, yeah, fine.
I'm still not convinced on Dooku. I don't think he deserved to get the same points as Palp.
No, I personally think Dooku could have stayed where he was if they just took the slots off Zam and Jango, the crew slot off Zam and Jango. Would have been the way I would have done it.
To be honest, putting Zam up 8 points already kind of like destroyed what you could do with Zam Jango anyway.
Yeah, but I still think she deserves to.
Oh no, Zam definitely was supposed to be. No, I'm saying I think Zam's points are fine.
Yeah,
I just think the combination, like, because the thing is, I get it. Infiltrators aren't meta, but putting Dooku up to 14 also just kills infiltrators.
Yeah. Gleb went up, and so it should.
Still perfectly takeable.
Oh yeah, 6 points, absolutely fine. Cutthroat went up a point. Again, I think fine. Same as Heroic, they've both gone to 2.
Yeah. Boss responders go up? I've actually forgotten. Yeah, it did. It went up to 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's the end of the game. And anyone who's watching this may notice that the video has another hour. That's because I forgot I was recording until about an hour later. And so there's just black screen after I closed TTS. But we can leave that there.
I was glad to see the E-Wings almost all come down. The I-4.
Yeah, and they gained a tech slot.
And they gained a tech slot. Yeah, quite. There's a couple of ships that have gained tech slots.
There's a couple of ships that have lost slots.
Yes, there's a couple of ships that have lost slots. There's yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Guri lost the sensor slot.
Yeah, Guri lost the sensor slot. The Etters have lost their cannon slot, so no more crit memeing Anakins and Obies.
I mean, I think that's probably fine.
Yeah, I still think they're flyable. You just change slightly how you fly. Hera went up 6 points. Fine. In the A-Wing, yeah.
Token stacking Rebels is still going to be a thing. You'll find
still going to be a thing. It just might not be quite so efficient, and that's fine. Yeah, I see that as absolutely fine. Fifth brother, the Inquisitors and the Barons all went up.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, it means you can't take 5 Foresight Inquisitors now.
Yeah.
To be fair, Foresight went up as well, so...
Yeah, speaking of taking 5 things that have 3 agility, Tri-Fighters went down.
Ooh.
And I was sort of on the 5 Tri-Fighter train. You can take some really interesting shit in Tri-Fighters now.
Nice.
So, you know my 5 Tri-Fighter list, Sean?
Yes, I do.
I can fit 3 Discord missiles into that, and it hits 200. No changes. Everything has Predator, and I just add 3 Discord missiles.
Right. So, let's have a quick scouty at Resistance, as that's one of my factions. Very happy with the Y-Wings at the moment. Points seem fine. The Fireballs have all come down a point, apart from the generic. The Star Fortress has all come down a point, apart from the generic and Bentine. Fine. The transports have gone up slightly, apart from Cova. Okay. Finn went up 2 and Rose went up 3, which my McJousty list that I took to Curtin last weekend is now 7 points illegal. But yeah. Merle went up a point, so he's the same as the generic. That's a little sad. That's the one change that made my balance list illegal. But Lulu came down 2, so nice. Most of the named T70s came down 1 or 2 points, apart from Kerkun, who came down 3, and Resistance Commander Poe, who came down 5. So that's quite interesting, because if you just ignore his ability, that's a 55-point I6 T70. So, yeah.
I think he's underused, to be honest. I thought he was a little underused when he was 60 points. Like, I didn't see a reason why.
The list.
Like, I know Poe exists.
Yeah.
But, like, I figured there was probably a home for old Poe.
But you can
old man Poe.
You can do Commander Poe now with 3 I4 Black Squadron aces. Fits in. So that's quite nice.
And you have 7 points to play with as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Ray Gunner's come down, which is nice, because you can start looking at other Falcons apart from Ray. Republic got sweeping changes across the board, most of them down. In fact, I think the only thing that went up was the generic Y-Wing and the Delta B configs. And everything else all came down mostly 1 or 2 points. Etta Anakin came down 5. Ayla and Yoda came down 3, but they've lost their cannon slot.
Yeah, I think the points coming down is like they're compensating for the cannon slot loss.
Yeah, which is fine. All the lats came down. All of the V-Wings came down. And all the torrents except named torrents came down. The Transgal Mag control link, if you're playing Epic, came down from 5 to 2.
Yeah, everyone likes that.
The configs for... there you go. There's a config that isn't free, which is Besh for the V-Wing, but I mean, at one point, you're not going to quibble over that. And the Republic...
I actually think under the new scheme of configs, if you didn't add the bomb slot, I bet that would be 0.
Yeah, maybe. The Republic have now got some of the cheapest Force crew as well.
Yeah.
Kit
8 points for Kit Fister.
8, Plo at 9.
I would argue 12 points for Yoda is a fucking steal.
Yes.
Mind my French.
Yeah, don't worry. I will edit that one out if you want to repeat that.
12 points for Yoda is a darn good price for your buck.
Yeah.
The only I think an arc with that, like two Force.
That means you're looking at a minimum of 54 points.
Yeah, but like you're talking to someone who runs infiltrators, Sean.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but an arc is not an infiltrator.
I mean,
it doesn't
have
an infiltrator. It doesn't have the dial.
It has close enough. You have almost the same. You have the same blues.
Yeah, but we don't have the 2 sloops and 5Ks.
You got the 4K though. Okay, let's stop debating. Yeah, I know an arc is not an infiltrator, but I think Wolf with Yoda, just Wolf with Yoda, bam, done. You have a ship that has 2 Force, passive rerolls.
I don't know. For me, I think
if you're feeling frisky, put a veteran tail gunner on him.
I think if you're going to go as far as putting Yoda on Wolf, I think I'd just spend the extra 2 points and put Ayla Secura on there.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying Yoda is because for 2 Force. This isn't about making Wolf help people. This is about giving Wolf access to 2 Force.
Yeah, but Ayla gives you a focus into a coordinate. So okay, maybe not quite as good as 2 Force, but I think that you might start seeing Yoda on a lat, or depending on when it comes out, the new Gauntlet.
Yeah.
That will be
interesting. The Gauntlet's going to be interesting. That's going to shake some things up.
Yeah. Right. Anything else you've caught your eye before we wrap this one up, Sam?
Multi-missile pods.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're 4 points now.
That's half, isn't it? They've come down from 8.
No, they were 6.
Oh, they were 6, sorry. Okay.
They were 6. And I'm gonna have to run some tests with this because, like, so on the gun. I don't know who else can. I don't know how many people can actually utilize double missile or want to utilize double missile that only has range 2. But like you can put. Okay, hold on, Sean. You can get a lot of full half arcs in separatists now. You can get 2 Bactoid prototypes hyena droid bombers with multi-missile pods and 3 gunships with cluster missiles.
Oh, well, that's just degenerate, isn't it?
Like you can get a lot of a lot of arcs. I have 11 points left over. Tell you what, let's put on Kraken.
Oh god, let's not, Sam. Right.
Like, yeah, that's something that's
on,
worth looking at.
On Sam's degenerate half arcs, there we will wrap it up for this week. Yeah, so definitely some interesting, and to be fair, it's just nice to have a fresh meta.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay,
Droids are back, baby.
We will be back next week, as always. Join us then. We should be back to, unless they release the new rules, which we will take a look at. We will go back to doing a full game, reviewing, hopefully another Balance of the Force one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it from us. So I'll just say goodbye.
Yeah, and goodbye from me. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.